RX Television on RxMuscle.com. This is Ask Dave, better known as hashtag Ask Dave on RxMuscle.com. This is your pre-Thanksgiving episode of Ask Dave. So all your Thanksgiving-related questions and, of course, all your questions on bodybuilding, training, supplementation, what IFBB pros, competitions. We had an explosive Ferrigno Legacy this past weekend, as well as the NPC Nationals down in Miami. Dave, how was your weekend? Nothing eventful, right?
No, it was very boring. Tyler and I drove down to Florida. Nothing happened. It was smooth sailing. No, it was. It was one of my friends on who emails me a lot tells me that my life is becoming too chaotic, and I said I created that chaos for this weekend purposely because I wanted to entertain the troops out there. Yeah, no, we had a slight wrong turn. We drove 100 miles out of the way. My laptop was stolen, and I got kicked out of the show. So, if that's uneventful, then I guess we had an uneventful weekend.
SpeciesNutrition.com. Dave, Species is going to have an exclusive Black Friday sale starting Friday at midnight. So as soon as Thanksgiving Day expires, Friday midnight at SpeciesNutrition.com. Dave, a blowout on SpeciesNutrition.com.
Yeah, I thought that I was trying to think what would people want, as after Thanksgiving and with the holidays coming up and all the terrible eating people do. So I decided I'm going to discount Isolyze, because Isolyze it's a very high premium quality whey isolate. We all know that. It's the highest yield protein on the market, 27.5 grams of protein per 32 gram serving. So I said, you know what? Some people can't afford it because, it's a little more expensive. So I'm discounting a couple of flavors that we have a little bit of overflow of to give people the ability to buy gifts for other people, for Christmas and that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a very short sale, and it's going to be limited. As soon as I run out of the flavor, we're done. So remember, Thursday after you gorge yourself, when you hit midnight and Friday starts, Black Friday starts, that's when it will go live on SpeciesNutrition.com. So head over there and make sure you check out the great sale we're putting up.
Before we get into questions, our producer, Tyler, who does a great job for us ever since joining us here on RxMuscle.com, he passed along a note for me to read. It goes as such. I formally apologize for the audio issues endured these last few weeks. I've discovered an additional gain dial on the audio board, one that was in fact set to plus 12 dB. In other words, I was, quote, blowing the shit out of Sid's voice, and the sole reason he sounded absolutely terrible. He is a wonderful show host and coworker. Very nice of you. Just a really decent guy in general. Not sure about that. And you're a douchebag to say otherwise. I hope the issues are now at last resolved and we can all be muscle buds together or whatever you want to call it. Thank you. Namaste, Tyler. Tyler, the rock star, our producer, doing a great job as always. Let's get to the questions. Again, if you want to join us, you can join us on the Muscle Central Forum on RxMuscle.com, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, hashtag Ask Dave. Let's go to David96. Dave, how many grams of fat does a 200-pound guy need on keto? And what do you think only eating full-fat ground beef? So I guess two separate questions. How many grams of fat for a 200-pound guy on keto? And your thoughts on only eating full-fat ground beef.
Only eating what?
Full-fat ground beef.
Oh. Well, I had to just comment once. Looking at Tyler on the screen with not saying anything, he reminded me of Silent Bob from Jay and Silent Bob, which reminds me, next year for Halloween, I think I'm gonna get a wig. I'm gonna play Jay, and I'll have Tyler grow his beard out a little bit, and he can be Silent Bob. That'll be a great costume for the two of us. Getting back to the question, I like to give the male athletes about 1/2 to 3/4 of a gram of fat per pound that they weigh. So a 200-pound guy would get anywhere from 100. I would probably go on the higher side, probably like 130 grams of fat per day, divided over obviously 6 meals. As far as full fat ground beef, obviously on a ketogenic diet, a certain amount of fat per meal is needed. I prefer to get fat from very healthy sources. A little ground beef is good. I wouldn't go like 75, 80%, ground beef. I would go for the 93% ground beef and then add like macadamia nut oil or add avocado, to bring it up to the fat that you require. I don't like just going like bacon and cream like some of these old, conventional Atkins ketogenic diets. That's not a bodybuilder performance diet.
Wolf of Essex, Dave, do you prefer Nolvadex or Clomid during PCT? I know they work similarly, but does one have a slight edge over the other? And then he goes on to ask about your baby making protocol. Calls for use of HCG and Clomid. Can Nolvadex be used instead of Clomid?
Theoretically, yes, because what you're doing is you're inhibiting the estrogen receptors in the hypothalamus of your brain. And in doing so, you're going to increase the signal output of the hypothalamus, and you're going to create more sperm production and testosterone production in the testicles. Theoretically, Clomid and estrogen work the same. I know Bill Llewellyn prefers Nolvadex, I think. I like to go with Clomid only because that's what the fertility doctors use. Okay, if the fertility doctors think that Clomid is better than Nolvadex, then it probably is at turning on the pituitary gland. So I usually go with 50 milligrams of Clomid per day. Also, Nolvadex has a IGF-1 blocking effect or blunting effect, so I don't like that in terms of bodybuilding purposes. So for the baby making protocol and the PCT, I prefer Clomid at 50 milligrams per day. Now, in the baby making protocol, it also includes HMG, so you're doing HCG and HMG. So, and that's we've discussed that before.
Sultan of Pista, Dave, hate this show. I'm about to finish my cycle for the year, and I'm going to do your recommended PCT protocol. My question is, should I change anything in regard to training and diet once PCT starts? I was thinking about maybe reducing the overall volume a bit, but still fighting hard to maintain the same weights, and reducing a little bit of my carb intake in those meals that are in the peri-workout window. So I guess he wants to know in terms of diet and training once PCT starts.
If anything, when you're off gear, you want to eat more food so that you can recover better. So you definitely don't want to cut back food. And I always told people, look, your body will tell you what you need to do in the gym, meaning that you want to try to lift heavy. At some point, you might find during the PCT period, as it progresses and all the androgens in your system start to decrease, that you get a little weaker, in which case you will cut back the amount of weight that you lift because you won't be able to lift heavier weights. So just don't purposely change how you lift, okay? Don't purposely lighten the weights just because you think that you should be weaker. Not everyone gets weak. Not everyone gets weak that fast. So the longer you can maintain lifting heavy weights, okay, the more you're going to maintain your muscle mass. So like I said, let your body tell you what it needs. If you're feeling run down and you can't do as many sets as you normally do, then you cut it back. But don't purposely do it. Likewise, don't purposely eliminate food from your diet because you think you're going to get fat, because more than likely you're going to restrict nutrition and then you're going to lose muscle because you're not giving your body enough of what it needs.
Another question, I'm guessing for off season, we're going to get a lot of those now with the winter upcoming. Paul Alexa 84, while doing a growth phase in the winter with a higher caloric intake, would it be a good idea to diet every 2 weeks to promote insulin sensitivity? For instance, 5 weeks high caloric intake, 2 weeks deficit intake with more cardio implemented to keep fat levels in check. Also, do you think IGF-LR3 is a good add-on cycle while in growth phase, along with test, NPP, and Superdrol?
Yeah, I mean, I like IGF-1 in an off-season scenario for growth purposes. I don't like Superdrol or any heavy orals like that because it does kill your appetite, and that's not going to help you one bit. The first part of the question was what again, Sid?
Just go back to his question. So during growth phase in the winter with a higher caloric intake, would it be a good idea to diet every 2 weeks to promote insulin sensitivity?
What I don't like, and I addressed it kind of in an earlier question, is you don't want to purposely start dieting yourself in the middle of growing. Think about it. Here you are trying to put muscle on. Your body doesn't want to put muscle on. Your body likes to stay at the weight it's at, okay? You do 2 weeks, so you're eating really good, and you put on, 2, 3, 4 pounds of muscle, and then all of a sudden, boom, you go into a diet phase. So now your body doesn't. Now you're restricting the nutrition coming into your body. So your body's just going to drop all that muscle weight you just built. Okay. You have to solidify the gains that you make. If you gain 5 pounds of muscle, and the day you gain the 5th pound, you stop eating all that food and training as much, you're not going to hold on to that muscle. because hasn't solidified itself. Your body hasn't changed its set point to establish that new muscle mass as being the body that it wants to be. It still thinks it's lighter, and it's going to try to get back there. And if you're restricting food, you're going to lose that muscle. So while it might be a little uncomfortable in the off season to be gorging food all the time and eating when you're not hungry and maybe holding a little extra fluid and fat weight that you're not really comfortable with, it's functional in the sense that it will help you to build muscle that will be solidified and that you will maintain into your dieting phase when the spring comes along. So no, don't diet every 2 weeks, okay? Don't restrict calories every 2 weeks, okay? Your body will build muscle, believe me, if you force it to. But if you don't force it to, and it's like the guy who goes on a steroid cycle for 2 weeks and then goes off for 2 weeks and then goes on for 2 weeks. It's like walking up a flight of steps and then walking down. Walking up 2 steps, walking down 2 steps, walking up 2 steps. You're never gonna get to the top of the staircase if you keep doing that. So you gotta be consistent. Your body likes consistency.
Ask Dave on RxMuscle.com. Reminder, Friday at midnight is going to be the start of the Species Nutrition Black Friday sale only at speciesnutrition.com. Also programming. No, Dave and I spoke earlier today. We are entering into the off-season period. This is going to be your home for all original programming. We're going to be beefing it up with live with episodes versus. We know that you love those comparisons between bodybuilders, virtual matchups, past shows, so on and so forth. So expect a lot more studio programming over the course of the next few weeks as we ease into the off-season period. Let's go to Brad McCaff. Dave, is there a difference in fat burning by doing morning cardio or post-workout cardio? Is one better for the metabolism?
You know, I guess if you did post-workout cardio at really late at night, like 11 o'clock at night, and then you went to sleep after, you might, not get the same benefit out of it because you're kind of shutting your metabolism down going to sleep. But really, I mean, cardio works best in a depleted state. So first thing in the morning, you haven't eaten anything, so you're depleted from the whole night. And if you do it post-workout, you're depleted because you just depleted your glycogen stores in the gym. So with your weight training workout. So I think both are about equal. So I don't mind what one or the other. People always ask me, which do you prefer I do? And I'm like, I don't care, it doesn't matter. Now, when your cardio gets up to, if it has to go as high as over 70 minutes, I usually tell people to split it. So then they'll do half in the morning and they'll do half post-workout. But I don't really think it matters when you do it, like I said, unless you're doing it right before sleep, in which case you might be just, you might not get the same metabolic boost from it. However, if that's the only time you have available, don't worry about it, do it. It's not a big deal.
Similar in terms of post-bed intake, AW Physique, your favorite protein and fat sources before bed, or your thoughts on a final meal of the day for optimal growth?
When I was in my lazy stage, I usually just suck the shake down. I would do like a 50, 60 grams of whey isolate with, like all natural peanut butter, almond butter. If I was really lazy and didn't want to pull the blender out, I would just put my macadamia oil, 2 scoops in there, 2 tablespoons in there. That was easy. When I was in my growing stage, early in my career where I was trying to grow and I knew I needed a solid meal before bed because I was going to drink a shake in the middle of the night anyway. A lot of times I would do eggs because they kind of sat well in my stomach. I would do 5, 6 whole eggs, with a bowl of oatmeal. Sometimes I would mix it into the oatmeal and microwave the whole kibosh and make almost like a big cookie out of it and eat that. I just felt that sat well in my stomach. Obviously eating McDonald's right before you go to sleep is probably not the best idea. You're going to wake up with indigestion and all kinds of stuff like that. So I try to eat things that are easily digestible before bed. Obviously shakes are the easiest to put down. But a lot of times, like when I was in my growth stage, I did have shakes during the night. So I figured let me do a solid meal to hold me a little more before bed.
Hard Body Fitness BC, Dave, the difference between nut oils, for example, almond oil, avocado oil, walnut oil. Why is macadamia nut oil your choice? Also, if you can't get mac oil, what's the second best option?
Well, you can always get mac oil because it's available all the time at speciesnutrition.com, so there's no excuse. And even if you don't live around, you can always get it from amazon.com. We sell on there too. Anyway, having said that, what is the difference? The difference is that, when we use these oils, we're looking for monounsaturated fats that are. Now remember, all oils are mixtures of different monos and polys and saturates, but predominantly, when we refer to an oil as being a monounsaturated fat or a polyunsaturated fat, we mean it's predominantly that. So mac oil is predominantly monounsaturated. It is a very solid fat in the sense that you can cook with it. It's stable. It's not heat resistant. It doesn't get destroyed by heating it up. It has the heart healthy effects. It reduces inflammation in the body, and it burns real well. It's a very good burning fat. And like I said, all fats are mixtures of other oils. There's also omega-3s and 6s in them, and they're in a perfect 1-to-1 balance, which makes it a very balanced oil. Even olive oil doesn't have that. Olive oil is a little higher in omega-6s than 3s. Olive oil is great too, extra virgin, of course. The problem is we have a lot of fake olive oil on the U.S. market. Can't trust it, and you can't cook with the stuff. And so that's bad. Now, polyunsaturated fats like the walnut oils, almond oils, those oils are not good to cook with. You can put them on your food cold, but you're only getting sources of omega-6s. They're very low in monos. And the interesting thing is you would think essential fatty acids, the 6s and 3s, you'd want to take it in high amounts because they're essential. It's not the case. You don't really need that much of it. You need more monos. They're going to be more functional in your body at helping repair the body and build and produce different aspects of your body in a reparative sense and in a heart healthy sense than the essentials will. That's why you can take an essential fatty acid supplement in pill form, like my Omega Lyze that I sell, and you really don't need any extra. However, having said that, I think that when you pick an oil, you want something that you're going to be able to cook with. It's going to be versatile, and that's going to taste good. Avocado oil is very versatile. It's a monounsaturated fat. You can cook with it to a certain degree. It just doesn't taste that good. So the reason I advocate mac oil is because, number one, it tastes good, you can cook with it, and it's super high in monounsaturated fats.
This is the pre-Thanksgiving episode of Ask Dave. Let's go to Brooks Clark. Dave, do you agree with the saying, you need to compete more so the judges see your face? I feel like I see so many people competing just to hopefully get more recognition rather than taking the time to make quality improvements and just enjoy training and eating.
I think it's important early in your career to compete more often, and that doesn't mean you should compete 3 times a year. It means that if you're going to compete, put them all together, but do 3 shows. Because the more times you get on stage, the more stage experience you get, the less nervous you get, the more comfortable you become on stage. Once you hit the national level where you're a top 5 or top 7 even national level person, you really can't go back and do the regional shows anymore. And because there's so few national, or pro qualifying shows, you really don't get the stage experience. You don't want to have to try to build stage experience on a national level stage. You want to do it on a regional stage. That's why early in your career, spend more time doing several shows. There's no reason to do one show unless you're Phil Heath and you're going to go right to nationals and get a pro card. Most people should pick 2, 3 shows in a row. This way they get used to what they're doing. Now, obviously, also these national level shows are very expensive to do because you have to fly places, stay in a hotel, you have to pay airfare, you got to pay these crazy application fees. So, that's not the venue to be experimenting, okay? So if you're going to do shows and it's your first 1 or 2 years of competing, try to do more so that you get that experience.
Dave, you watched the show Shark Tank?
Yes, I just started recently, actually, and I really liked it.
All right, so you're about to be pitched a business idea from the Atomic Beast. So listen to this.
Okay.
Dave, I have an invention pitch for you, and if we ever partner together or if you ever invent it before I do, please give me credit. It might be invented already, though I have no idea, so here it is. If shivering burns more calories than sweating, then I propose a new method called, quote, cold state cardio. And the idea is for gyms or create a separate room or facility in a temperature-controlled environment of 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, almost like a restaurant refrigerator or lab cold room, and have bikes and Stairmasters that can operate in cold conditions, theoretically accelerating fat loss by shivering and performing steady state fasted cardio. Your take on the idea?
Blackman might try to take credit for that. You gotta shiver it off. He always says that. I think it's a good idea, actually. It's just gimmicky enough, that people might go for it. Probably I'd be the only person in the room because I was always one of these guys who was always sweating. I was always hot in the gym. I was always sweating. I would love to go. I would go in there with shorts and a tank top on and probably pedal, for an hour there and be great because you don't really sweat in an environment like that. But I'm sure there would be other people who were like sniffling and saying, "Oh, I'm getting sick in there. I don't want to go in there. It's too cold and all this stuff." So I don't know how, but because if you think about it, they have Bikram yoga where people go in there and they sweat their balls off, and do yoga. And I wouldn't want to do that either because I would be too uncomfortable probably from all the sweating. So once again, I think people like to be in an environment that is comfortable to them. I think for most people it might be too extreme, but it might not be a bad idea to offer it. I think, what's the guy offering? How many percent of the company and how much money are I going to give him? Sid, did you hear that?
No, I missed the last part about money they're offering.
I said, how much money does the guy want and how much percentage of the company am I going to get?
See, now you're getting way too Shark Tanky here because now you're talking about the equity, how much he wants.
That's Shark Tank. He's pitching me.
Atomic Beast, if you're listening, we should have a further discussion on this idea.
That's
I think we could have some legs. Let's go to JD Fitness 13. Dave, your thoughts on a pescatarian diet and bodybuilding contest prep? The only exclusions I'd keep in it are egg whites and whey protein.
So pescatarian implies fish eating. So it would be fish, whey, and eggs. Is that what they're going to eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think you do that. I think there's really not much restriction. It's just chicken and beef you're not eating. Yeah, I think that would be great. I think if you did that diet, you can go to Bill Llewellyn's site and go buy his X Factor, or Factor X, I should say, arachidonic acid product, because that's really all you're missing. The red meat and chicken has a lot of arachidonic acid in it, which is one of your essential omega-6 fats that most people get plenty of if they eat chicken and beef. If they don't, though, they could be a little restricted in that. So that would be the only thing I might add to that regimen.
Martin1 Vizaj or Vizai. Dave, any other effective methods to help reduce the width of your torso besides dieting?
The width of your torso would imply the waist size.
That's what I'm guessing. Yeah.
What?
That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah. Look, if it's not a fat issue, you just have a wide waist, you can use these waist shapers that these people are wearing. They're like corsets, basically. I mean, they're really uncomfortable. But if you're tenacious enough and you wear them long enough, they do reduce your waist size. I've seen it in women. Some of these women on the Olympia stage are amazing, and they all wear these waist shapers. So they do work, but like I said, it's not a comfortable type of situation. But then again, bodybuilders are used to living an uncomfortable life, so it shouldn't be a problem for them.
Speaking of uncomfortable, Big Ant 1026, Dave, we all know that we must lift heavy to build muscle, but as we age, the joints, tendons cannot handle the heavy loads. Is it possible to still build muscle without lifting heavy? Can we use time under tension, exercise to target different angles, supersets, drop sets, etc., to stress the muscles?
I think some people could probably grow from that. I don't think everyone can. I think that, it's funny because I'm at a certain weight right now. I'm probably about 195. I'm almost 200, actually. I've gained a little weight back since I went back to the gym. But if I went back to the gym and I started eating 6 times a day and started being able to train, regularly, I would probably add 30 pounds of muscle to my body. But that doesn't mean it's new muscle. It's really old muscle that I had. So I'm putting back. So that doesn't count. Is it possible to put new muscle on, not lifting heavy and using more high rep type stuff? It's possible, but it's unlikely. Okay. More than likely, you'll be able to maintain what you have, or maybe if you had lost some muscle from what you previously had, put that back. I think it's going to be very hard to get new muscle gains, especially if you've been lifting a long time with lighter weights.
Philosophical question here from Robnerland Fit. Dave, hate the show. Why do you think that bodybuilders receive so much more hate from the general public as compared to other high-level athletes, for example, Olympic track and field stars or Tour de France cyclists? The top level of all these sports, just like pro bodybuilding, requires years of dedication, diet, training, and even drugs too. However, you don't hear people hate on Tour de France athletes for running a ton of drugs or tell people, quote, I too could be an Olympic sprinter if I took juice. But you will hear that about professional bodybuilders all the time, that they're only big because they take drugs. I could be that big too if I took drugs.
Well, I mean, I think number one is the reason is that, we don't really do anything on stage. It's not like we're running. We're not lifting anything on stage. where we're being evaluated. It's kind of a beauty contest. So people think, they think, well, if women can get breast implants and have huge boobs by just going to the doctor, then, if I need big muscles, I'll just take a shot of steroids and I'll get big muscles. They don't realize all the work and dedication and the eating and the training regimen that goes into it. So I think people just who are not in the sport don't understand the sport. Because it is a weird type of situation. It's not like your conventional thing. Most sporting events starts when you get to the event. Then you have to perform under pressure. Bodybuilding, you're done when you get to the sport. It's like you're kind of just hanging out for the day. So it's a different mentality, and I think that's why people can't wrap their hands around it. And also think about it. We're basically standing on stage naked in our underwear. And you can see everything that has been done to our bodies. With professional athletes, think about football players. They're all covered up. You don't even know what's under there. They could be fat, they could be skinny. They just look big, So we're so visible and we're so lean, so we can really see every fiber of the muscles. It smells and stinks and reeks of steroids. That's what people think, because it's such an overwhelming look that the bodybuilder achieves, even the natural bodybuilder, that it's hard for the general public to accept that as being possible for a normal human being to achieve that without drugs. And that's a compliment, and it's a kick in the ass at the same time. It's a compliment because it shows that people are impressed with the hard work that bodybuilders put in and the results that come out. It's a kick in the ass because everyone normally automatically assumes that anyone who's in shape or has a little bit of muscle must be taking steroids.
Kenneth Torres Z, Dave, could someone develop overall chest growth using mainly incline exercise? My problem is that I have a weak lower chest, but I only feel my chest working on incline movements.
I only did incline movements too. I did very few flat movements or decline movements. I felt that 99.9% of the people have a weak upper chest, not mid chest. I do see that some people have, stuff on their lower chest that they feel is a lack of muscle, but a lot of times it's glands due to gynecomastia that they don't even realize they have, or fat deposits there. And until that's surgically removed, you're never going to see a nice squared off bottom of the chest. So once again, I've never heard a judge say that guy's chest is too top heavy and there's nothing on the lower portion of it. And a great thick chest is really what you want to aim for, because that's what gives the impression of density up there.
Fitnessman81, why do you recommend taking 7,000 IU vitamin 3D a day?
Because I found that on Bloodwork, that's the only dosage, at least in my body, that gets me up to the 50, the magical 50 on Bloodwork. So when you get blood tested, the old regimen says that if you're 35 or over on the reading, you're in the normal range. But that's not really true. It's the 50 and over. To get to someone to 50 and over, you got to take at least 7,000 units per day. That seems to be the magic number. When I take 5,000, I come up a little low, okay? If I take 7, I'm just at 50. Now that doesn't mean that everyone else is gonna be the same, but it's usually a pretty good estimate. I find that most people who are on 7,000 are in the normal range.
Take a couple of quick questions. Bobby Trap Lord. A lot of the time I don't have an appetite for the day. I eat peanut butter mixed with almond flour to get extra calories in. Is there such a thing as too many good fats in a day?
It's not bad for you as long as you're not getting fat from it. You know what I mean? I know girls that eat a whole jar of peanut butter, and I think the peanut butter is healthy for you. But when you eat a whole jar, that's a lot of calories, and they get fat from doing that. So as long as you're not, putting on excessive amounts of body weight from eating, that, then it's fine. I don't necessarily think it's the greatest source of protein. It's a good source of fat, but it's not a great source of protein. So once again, you have to balance off. If you really need extra calories to get into your day, you might want to eat some better sources of protein in addition to the peanut butter you're eating.
Let's go to JD Fitness 13. All right, we already asked that one. Qasim El Setri, can HGH prevent fat loss, or does it just bloat where you can see any definition? Also, if someone is insulin resistant, can they use HGH alone?
Well, growth hormone is not going to make you fatter. It's going to make you leaner. It mobilizes fat. It does the opposite of insulin. Insulin drives nutrients into the muscle cells and into the fat cells, stores fat. GH mobilizes nutrients out of the fat cells to be used for fuel. So it's a fat burning hormone. Can GH be used? It was GH be used alone, right? That's the question. Can GH be used alone, Sid?
HGH.
Yeah, GH. Okay.
Yeah.
You could use growth hormone alone. You're not going to build quite as much muscle as if you were to take it with anabolic steroids, because remember, GH turns stem cells into new muscle fibers, but they're small, whereas steroids enlarge the size of those fibers. So that's why the two of them work well together, because they complement each other. When you take GH alone, you'll definitely get a little leaner. You'll recover better from your workouts, but you might not notice as many muscle gains.
We're getting a lot of questions regarding vegan diets and so on and so forth. The one that kind of is all-encompassing is from Stolen Duck 2. Your opinion on a vegan diet for bodybuilders. I don't know if we've addressed it in the past, but I think this is sort of the more all-encompassing question.
The term vegan to me means no meat, okay, no fish, no dairy, okay, only plant sources of protein, no eggs. So it's very hard to build muscle on a vegan diet. I'll be honest with you. I have a bikini competitor right now I helped, and she did really well. I got her in good shape. But bikini competitors don't need to be that big, So if you're looking to build dense, large muscle, being a vegan bodybuilder is not going to be the way to do it. I'm just telling you. It might be a healthier way. I don't know. That's debatable too. But if you choose to be a vegan, there's nothing wrong with that. I work with a lot of vegan people because they come to me because they know I can improvise and I can make it work. It's just not going to be the easiest route you're going to take. So it's got to be a personal choice. If you say, hey, I love bodybuilding, but I also love being a vegan, it's compatible. Just remember, you're not going to be on the Olympia stage, as a vegan. It's not going to happen, at least not in bodybuilding.
Finally, Dave, your plans, and in particular, what you plan on eating tomorrow for Thanksgiving.
It's a good question. My wife and I are still debating this. I think last year we went out for Thanksgiving, and I think we went to a buffet. I don't remember which buffet we went to. We went somewhere. This year, my son is still not really 2 years old, so he doesn't really know what's going on. I think my friend Cole and his girlfriend are going to be coming out, and it's my mother-in-law's birthday. So I think because there's a big group of us, rather than try to go to a restaurant early, we'll probably also look for another buffet and hit that where we can all just kind of sit at a big table and have fun and eat whatever we want and get desserts, whatever we want to do. It's kind of like a little more fun that way. Next year, I'm trying to categorically, in my mind, plan it right now that I would like to make a family Thanksgiving dinner. Because back in my day, when I was a kid, we went to my Italian grandmother's every single Thanksgiving usually. And we had the crazy Italian meal, and it was a million kids around and adults, and it was like a very festive type of situation. And I kind of missed that, but I understand why it wasn't functional because I don't really have a lot of family now that I'm making my own family. I want my kids to experience that as well. Right now they're so young. My son's so young. My daughter is going to be born next month. So maybe next year or the year after I'll start that up. So what am I going to eat? Pretty much whatever I want. The irony of the whole thing is I probably won't eat any turkey, but I do like turkey. I like a good turkey. There's a scene from Coming to America. Not Coming to America. What was that movie? I forgot. They cut the turkey? You cut the turkey before we got here? What movie was that from? Someone else, one of our fans out there will definitely get that in 2 seconds, guarantee it. But that's going to be me. I want to be the old guy with the carving knife, I wasn't a surgeon like my parents wanted me to, but I will carve the turkey. And one day that'll be me, but not this year.
Let's get a quick note from Tyler. Tyler, your plans for Thanksgiving?
I don't have a microphone.
Oh, he says he doesn't have a microphone.
Do the silent Bob. Do the silent Bob. I'll translate. As if I was Jay. He's going to his parents' house, and they're going to make a turkey. And he spends everything, he goes up to the Clearwater area where his family is. And he drives up there, and he'll eat until he can't move anymore. And then when he wakes up from his nap, he'll eat again.
Sounds
Sid, what
good.
do you do? What's the Pakistani Thanksgiving like?
Yeah, I love it when people ask me that because we do the same thing that Pakistani Americans and all Americans do. We eat turkey, we eat stuffing, we have corn, we have mashed potato, we have cranberry sauce. We do the same custom as every other household here in this country. I love it. But yeah, no, I plan on eating tomorrow. I've lost 20 pounds over the course of the last 3 months. Tomorrow, that all goes out the window. Tomorrow, I'm eating. It's going to be food, it's going to be family, and it's going to be football. I'm going to be watching Giants football tomorrow.
That's right.
That's what I'm going to be doing. I encourage you all to do the same. So on a quick personal note, because this question comes up all the time, and it's kind of cheesy, but I figure I'd answer it anyway. What are you thankful for? On behalf of RxMuscle, we're thankful for you guys. Those of you who watch us every week, regardless if it's Muscle in the Morning, if it's Ask Dave, it's Iron Debate, Iron Rage, our Live With episodes, those of us who have stayed with us through thick and thin, through all the attacks that we've endured inside our fan base and from outside the fan base. We do this for you. So whether you love us, whether you hate us, whether you sincerely exist to troll the crap out of us, we're thankful for you and for everything that you bring to the RxMuscle community, because we bust our asses to bring you the best coverage of bodybuilding, be it during contest season, be it off contest season, be it in our studio, be it at a venue event, whether we're there, whether we're kicked out, we do this for you. So on behalf of everybody here at RxMuscle.com, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it with your friends, family. Eat a little bit, enjoy, but then you get your ass back into the gym. For Dave Palumbo and Tyler Shore, I'm Sadiq Faruqi. We'll see you next time.